Kush's movie review.
This week's movie review is Alien Apprentices Romulus, which really doesn't give me anything to work on. It's definitely not Sigourney Weaver's Alien at this point. I'm sure it's goddamn trash, but hopefully I'm wrong,
No.
as Kush is about to divulge. Kush, tell us a little bit about Alien Romulus, if you will.
So Romulus is one of the Greek gods. It's related to Prometheus. So if you didn't pick that up, that's what it is. Um, Also, this isn't a bad movie, but it has a very bad ending. We will slightly get into that, hopefully without spoilers. If you do want spoilers, go check out the Friends at a Not a Strong Start, where Daniel and Marie go into wild detail of like everything they loved about this, and then how this thing fell off a cliff, which I will try and do in the briefest of descriptions. Um, we're talking Alien Romulus. It is a rated R movie. It is just 1 minute under 2 hours. It is
Nice.
written and directed by Fede Álvarez. If you know that name, he did the Evil Dead reboot in I want to say it was 2011, maybe it was 2012. It's been a while since that movie happened, and we've had a new reboot since then. That's okay. That's okay. He also did a movie called Don't Breathe, which I've heard nothing but good things about, but I've still not seen. There's a sequel that even I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. And apparently Fede Alvarez was like, that don't make sense. So he wasn't a part of it. He was a part of this though. He had a hand in writing it, as well as a man named Rodo Sayagus. I don't think I pronounced his name very
Rolls
well
right
at
on the
all,
tongue.
but even phonetically, that looks stupid. So his name isn't stupid, just the way I pronounced it is. This is based on characters created by Dan Oberman and Ronald. We need to fucking spell these words bigger. Ron, and stars a young lady named Cailee Spaeny. She plays a woman named Rain, and her for 90 minutes of this movie, my only problem with this movie is that her brother is a robot played by David Jonsson. Jonsson is spelled very differently than the American version of Johnson, but he plays Andy, ND25, Andy. Um, the first 90 minutes of this film is a nice homage to the original Alien. The original Alien, I've only seen once because it was so goddamn scary. I was like 8. I don't want to ever see it again. There's plenty of extra reaction videos where we're like, all right, they're gonna just show me the best parts. And I'm like, I don't want to know. Aliens, I've probably seen like 400 times. Not, I don't think that's an unreasonable guess. And then the rest of the movies within single digits, some double digits. I thought Prometheus was interesting. Alien Covenant, that's the previous movie we just had. They did some cool stuff in there, but nothing I wanted to go see back again. However, this movie is supposed to take place between the original 1979 Alien and 1986's Aliens. And you can be that guy and go like, it's supposed to take place, but who cares? They make a couple references to Alien. Also, who cares? This should be treated as its own movie. And again, those first 90 minutes, dude, it's slow. It sets up some dialogue, sets up a story. This the chick Rain that we're following, she's lost both her parents because they live on a mining colony on a planet that receives zero daylight. Not zero daylight a week, zero daylight 365 days. There's no sunlight on this planet. And
Hello,
they just
darkness,
work.
my old friend.
Oh my God, it's amazing that they didn't use that song, honestly. So Um, she's an indentured servant to the Weyland-Yutani Corp, which is always a consistent through line as the corporation for this story. She has completed her regulated her contracted duties, her hours. And then they go like, yeah, a bunch of people died in the mine. So we're extending your contract for like another 9 years. And she's like, oh, fuck you. I don't even think that's legal, but guess
Yeah.
what? You're probably not going to find a lawyer on the planet thousands of light years away from Earth and that receives a zero daylight. So she's probably just fucked. Um, an opportunity comes away along her way. Some friends she knew from back in the day. They mean well, but they're always up to no good. They're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing the other thing. Who hasn't had those friends? And they got a plan. We stole this ship. We found a desolate vessel out in space, and it's gonna crash into this planet's rings, which you know about like Jupiter's rings. It's all asteroids and shit. It's just rocks. I know you're sipping a drink there, but say yes or no, man.
Oh, so I was just waiting for So what you're saying is smashed into its ring.
Giggity, giggity, giggity,
Yes.
goo.
Boom.
Thank you.
All right. So the plan is, here's what's up. We got this vessel that we stole. We're gonna shoot it up into the atmosphere, and we're gonna raid this empty vessel. We could just sell it for scrap parts. All we want is the cryo chambers and any fuel that we can get. And they don't even think about the fuel. That's a secondary objective that happens later in the game, later in the movie, but that was also a Freudian slip. It's supposed to take a half hour. It's supposed to be one of the simplest heists in the galaxy. They again, the objective is steal these 5 cryo chambers, and then they'll go to sleep and they'll go 9 light years, whatever direction, to another planet that will possibly provide them with a better life.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Sounds like a great idea. Like it seems foolproof. They get in the vehicle, they shoot up into the atmosphere, they board the vessel. No one is there. It is abandoned. And again, like through nautical rules, you could just take the entire vessel and probably sell that for scrap. We're here for the fucking cryo chambers. They get that. They find out that the cryo chambers only have enough fuel for about 3 years. And again,
Ugh.
they need 9 years. However, it's a big goddamn vessel. But they got some fuel on this ship. So again, there's also a window of 36 hours before this vessel slams into all the rocks. That is that planet's belt. And then things go extremely south.
Uh-oh.
They find a room with the fuel for the cryo chamber, but then they trigger the security alarm. And that's when the aliens wake up.
Shit.
Shit indeed. If they only shit themselves, that would have been the best case scenario for them. If they only shit themselves.
Alien poop stinks.
You're familiar with the Alien films or the franchise, Mike? How many have you seen? Have you seen them all? Have you seen one of them? What have you seen?
I think I'm only exclusive to Alien and Aliens.
Those are two good ones to stick by. Again, the first one I've only seen once because it is that scary. The second one is the James Cameron film. It's an amazing action film.
No Ripley, no party, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm sorry?
No Ripley, no party, from as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, well, she's not her young spry self anymore. If we had to do birthday blackjack today, I bet she's about 70-ish. I'm gonna say 70. So she can't do this movie anymore. So you're familiar with the face huggers, you're familiar with the chest bursters, you're familiar with the actual xenomorphs. These are all words you understand.
Indeed. She's 74, by the way.
Good for her.
Not bad. Not bad guess.
Yeah. Dude, the human evolution is becoming fantastic because she does not look 74. So good for her. Anyways, they trigger an alarm. All of a sudden, the face huggers get loose. All right, and we actually have like a scene that sets up where they found they found the alien from the end of Alien, and they tried to do some sick shit to it. And yeah, that went incredibly south as well. So, anyways, again, first 90 minutes of this movie is a fantastic homage to the original Alien. Like it's scary, it's dark, there's a mood to it. Like the last 3 months, there's this weird guy in the theater who I'm that dude who looks at the seating chart and I'm like, you don't have a ticket for that seat, sir. Uh, and by the way, this asshole is also just like killing time on this day. So he'll just check his text messages, but he'll have to do this. But the brightness is all the way up to 1,000. So I have to like put my hood on whenever I see him. And I've called him out on it before, and he's left. And then, anyways, even this dude was not checking his phone the entire time. He's just like, "What's going on with this
Oh
movie?"
shit.
Like this is how good that movie is. That first 90 minutes again, it sets up everything. It's intense. It's heavy. You're just like, oh my God, I hope these guys get out of here. I know they're not going to, but I hope they do. And I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. Go check out the Not a Strong Start video. The Easter eggs in this film are very minute. For those first 90 minutes, Whale and Utani, the xenomorph, the face hugger, the little chest burster, the Nostromo. Those are the most Easter eggs we have here, and that's part of the through line. You're like, okay, I get all of this. That's great. Oh, we bump into not the actual robot from the first Alien, but a clone of his played by Ian Holm's ghost.
Oh, so some major CGI going on there.
In that scene, absolutely. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool nod. I like it.
It's a cool nod, and it looks good. I didn't have a problem with it, and I hard. The most problem I had at this point, I was just like, I know that guy. What's? I had to wait through the credits to go like, oh, so and so did the green screen suit, and so did the graphics for it, but you saw Ian Holm. Ian Holm was
I
not a
like
part
the
of
fact
this movie at all.
I mean, obviously they have, but I like the fact they created him. That's good.
Yeah, no, as they should have, and I bet his estate got paid handsomely for it, or at least for this
Decently.
movie.
Yeah.
Decently. Yeah. I doubt they're gonna live for the rest of the year freely, but no, I bet they got a paycheck for it. They should have if they did. So, anyways, at some point, the face huggers get loose. They impregnate some people. Those people die from a chest burster, and then again, all hell breaks loose as it is an alien movie. Um, Cool thing we've never seen in any of the Alien movies, including the Alien verse Predator movies, which no one should see. Don't come. Like Kamala Harris, don't come. Don't come to the Alien verse Predator movies. We actually see you remember Alien and Aliens? We just talked about it 5 times now. But like there's a chest burster, a little thing that pops out. It's got some teeth. In Spaceballs, it does a little dance. Hello, my baby.
Hello, my
All right.
honey. Hello, my honey. Hello, my
Yeah.
son. Yeah.
But then at some point, it becomes this big black xenomorph, terrifying creature, and we've never explored how that happens. We just have to assume it happens. We still only see half of it, but we see that fucking thing cocoon itself
Ooh.
and then become the xenomorph. And by the way, it looks like a gigantic pussy. There's no escaping it, dude. It's H.R. Geiger influence, so everything is sexual, effectual, like a lady. We haven't said that in like a year.
Well, hopefully
I'm
we'll bring
gonna
it
bring
back
this,
more often.
gonna try and bring this to a close. The Easter eggs in that first 90 minutes are all very minute. This movie has 2 endings. Both endings fucking suck. If we were just talking about this movie being a 90-minute movie, I would still be mad about the ending, but I would give this a much higher rating. But then it goes on for another half hour, and then it feels like all studio notes, like Hey, you remember Sigourney Weaver wore Reeboks in Aliens? Put a close up on Reeboks. Oh, you remember this? You remember that? You remember the pulse rifle? The last 30 minutes of this movie is abysmal. It is affecting the score of this film for me, Kush Hayes, by a lot. I would love to give this thing a fucking higher score because again, those first 90 minutes, it's fantastic, dude. I'm literally on the edge of my seat the entire time. I'm like, this is genuinely terrifying. This is genuinely thrilling. I can't wait to see more what you do, Fede Alvarez. And then we get a bunch of studio notes like, oh yeah, like, hey, we got to borrow this from this movie, borrow this from that movie, borrow this from the other movie. Like it's none of it needed to be done. You had a perfectly fine film as it was. Even if you want to say like this happened between this movie and this movie, fine, we can say that. But I would treat this as a reboot. I would treat this as its own film. I would treat this as several other things. But then that last half hour comes in, and dude, I can be more frustrated, more bored. I mean, not the worst movie we've seen this year. That Borderlands took that last week. Um, Alien Romulus, rated R, 1 hour 59 minutes, and I want to give it a 4 stars, but I can only give it 3 out of 5. Again, you want to see spoilers? Go to Not a Strong Start and listen to Daniel Marie's review about it. They go very deep into it, and they warn you there are spoilers.
There you go. Alien Romulus, 3 out of 5. For spoilers, check out Not a Strong Start. Podcast friends of Vlogs. My only question is, before we wrap up this movie review,
Please, what you got?
you mentioned that this is supposed to be set between Alien and Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of your rating of the movie, if you could rate out of 5, how well it leaves you going, oh yeah, this makes sense that it's set between those two movies. How well do they do it?
I mean, they did fine. Like again, they referenced the Nostromo, so the events of Alien have definitely happened, and the corporation finds the remains. So, I mean, they do a good job about carrying that part on. It feels natural. That part absolutely feels natural. But if you've never seen Alien or Aliens, which is also weird, um, you could come into this fresh. You could come into this specific movie fresh, not having seen Prometheus, not having seen Alien Resurrection. No, it's very, again, those first 90 minutes are very well done.
All right.
Both endings I hate.
Follow-up question then is, obviously there's the known argument about Star Wars movies. Did you watch it as they come out, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, or did you watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Do you think you could watch Alien, then this movie, and then Aliens, and it be like oh, this is a really cool experience. Now I did it this way.
No, I don't think you would think it was a cool experience by any means. I think you'd be like, oh, I just watched this movie, that movie, and the other movie.
Okay.
But if you've seen all the movies, you'll recognize the Easter eggs. And again, like that first 90 minutes, you need the through line for sure. But that last half hour is just shoehorning in shit. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. And I've heard a couple other reviews on YouTube where they're like, yeah, that time they went in the water, it was a nod to Alien 4, and I was like, or they could have just been in the water. Honestly, at that point, I don't think there was anything specific at that point. But
I love those videos. I watch those videos on YouTube all the time where it's like, oh, we're watching this movie and 128 Easter eggs you may have missed. And then it's like, one of them's like, oh, in this one scene, did you notice this guy was wearing a blue sweater? Which, if you remember, going back to the 4 movies prior, this actor had blue eyes. Clearly a throwback to that. And Jesus Christ, you're really trying to find this now.
I'm definitely not referencing those videos, but those videos do suck. Um, again, what I am referencing, maybe we just had to have a scene underwater. Again, it's 3 feet of water as opposed to a whole swimming pool. So probably not a reference to that one movie, but I understand why you said that. So, and then again, just to say it, David Jonsson,
Jonsson.
yeah, man, the guy who played Andy is the best performer in this movie. That dude should be in more movies. Dude should be in every movie. He's gonna be the next go-to guy.
He's gonna be the next Dave Bautista.
He might be the next Jonathan Majors without the fucking domestic violence charges.
Well, that's what we hope.
Well,
For everyone.
best case scenario.
Best case scenario. But if not, then they have to replace you with Robert Downey Jr.
Boom.
No, that happens.
That happened. That
That
actually happened.
All right, there you go. Alien Romulus, 3 out of 5. First 90 minutes, potentially 4 out of 5, but the last 30 minutes, shit up.
Again, the first 90 minutes, man, it might have been the best movie of the year.
Damn.
Again, the ending would have sucked, but still. Well, it dropped the ball right at the 1-yard line, to use a football reference.
Well, there you go. Beautiful. So check it out in theaters now, or depending on where you're watching this, maybe check it out on Amazon Prime or Netflix or Max or I don't
Probably
know.
gonna be on Prime.
Google it. I don't know where it is.
Google it. You'll figure it out. IMDb will tell you.
Does my name look like Google? No. Do your own work. I'm just
No.
trying to tell you if it's good or not. You want to
Google
see it?
page.
You work it out, pal. Anyway, there you go. Alien
Boom.
Romulus, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, unfortunately.
That's all, folks.
Play me off, Johnny.